On 60 Minutes, Bernie Sanders says it's unfair to say everything is bad about the Cuban Revolution. Huh. Wow. Amazing. Amazing that he could say that with a straight face. Fidel Castro's Cuban Revolution wasn't entirely bad, Democratic presidential frontrunner Bernie Sanders said in a 60-minute interview that aired last night, Sunday night. We're very opposed to the authoritarian nature of Cuba, brackets, that Bernie Sanders wants to introduce in the United States, apparently. But, it's simply unfair to say everything is bad, Sanders said in an interview with journalist Anderson Cooper. Okay. The comments, sure to rile Cuban exiles in Miami, and rightly so, because you don't leave an island on a rickety boat full of holes cross 90 miles straight between Miami and Cuba to get away from a good time in Cuba. It's... wow. And escalate arguments from moderate Democrats that Sanders is too far left to beat President Donald Trump. Came in response to questions about remarks Sanders, a self-described democratic socialist, there is none, you're a socialist, in the story, made in the 1980s interview. During that interview, a clip of which aired on CBS Sunday night, Sanders counted the healthcare and education among the reasons that the Cuban people didn't rise up and overthrow Castro after his 1959 revolution. Wow. Quoting here... when Fidel Castro came into office, what he did? He had a massive literacy program. Oh, I guess that, overshadows, all the, political prisoners, death camps, assassinations, and other political malfeasance against the Cuban government. Is that a bad thing, even though Fidel Castro did it? There are a lot of dissidents in prison in Cuba, Cooper said to Sanders. That's right, and we condemn that. You don't condemn that, apparently, which is we shit. Sanders responded before contrasting his views on authoritarianism with Trump's. Oh, yeah, because Donald Trump, oh my God, this guy's an idiot. Unlike Donald Trump, let's be clear, I don't think that North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un is a good friend. No, he's not. But the guy is unstable, and you have to figure out a way to make sure this guy doesn't start hucking nukes at Japan and the United States because he just has a bad day. I don't trade love letters with a murdering dictator. Russian President Vladimir Putin, not a good friend of mine, and likely not a good friend of anybody else who doesn't agree with him. Sanders has a long history of praising left-leaning authoritarian leaders in Latin America. And here it comes. 1985, Sanders met Nicaraguan leader Daniel Ortega and called him a very impressive guy. Ortega recently banned Nicaragua's largest newspaper from buying ink and newsprint. He's still an impressive guy. Sanders also visited Cuba in the 1980s, praising Castro's social programs, oh God, here we go, while expressing concern about the government's jailing of political dissidents. He expressed concern, but not condemnation. Video clips of Sanders' remarks on 60 Minutes were quickly shared on social media. Some Miami-based Democrats said Sanders' response is politically damaging in South Florida, home to more than 1 million Cuban Americans. Yeah, especially in Calle Ocho. Go down there and ask them, hey, do you guys like Fidel Castro? Wrong. They won't. Democrats nominating this man will absolutely re-elect Donald Trump and end our constitutional republic. What? Tweeted Miami-based Democratic strategist pollster for... What? Get the F out of here. Really? Our constitutional republic is gone? No. You guys want it done. We don't. You can practically hear Miami crack off Florida and go spinning into the ocean, Miami-based author Robin Farzad tweeted. The 60 Minutes interview aired 23 days before Florida's March 17th Democratic presidential primary. Nearly 250,000 Democrats have already voted by mail. This is from The Hill a couple days ago. Yesterday. Chris Matthews faces calls for resignation after comparing Sanders' victory in Nevada to the invasion. Well, a little bit hyperbolic, but understand Just a funny way of saying National Socialist Workers' Party, if you know what I'm talking about. MSNBC's Chris Matthews is under fire for comparing Senator Sanders' decisive win in Nevada caucus to that invasion of France in 1940, with some social media calling for his hardball host to resign. He shouldn't resign. It's an opinion, but you can't say that. But if he says a Pol Potic invasion, I guess that'd be okay. So I was reading last night about the fall of France in the summer of 1940. Matthews said during live coverage, and General Reynaud, I think, calls up Churchill and says it's over. And Churchill says, "How can that be? You've got the greatest army in Europe. How can it be over?" He said, "It's over." Criticism quickly poured in, as usual, on social media over Matthews using the analogy. Sanders is Jewish, and most of his family members were killed in the Holocaust. One such response came from Mike Koska, who serves as Sanders' 2020 communications director. "Oh yeah, this ought to be good. Never thought part of my job would be pleading with the National News Network to stop likening the campaign of a Jewish president, blah, 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 blah." And we got these other blue checkmark douchebags chiming in. You know, they're all about it until they're not. Sanders easily won the Silver State with 47% of the vote, with 50% of precincts reporting of that time. Former VP Joe Biden followed with 19.2%. He got 0 votes. Electors, if you will. And former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg had 15.3%. Going back to this page here, I just got to say, it's amazing that Democrats are actively and outright going after and voting for a near octogenarian socialist who's basically praised bread lines and the subway stations in these dictatorships as really beautiful. This is what you want right here? This guy? Come on, Democrats. Really? Is this what we're going to do? I think so. And you know what? You deserve everything you get if you vote for this complete, unadulterated monster of a man. His name? Bernie Sanders. This guy, you know what? You deserve it. You deserve it. And you know what? And you're going to lose. Keep voting for him. I want you to vote for me, Democrats. I do. I want you to vote for him. Yeah, go ahead and vote for him, morons.